Alright guys, hey guys, welcome to today's presentation on how to win friends and influence people. I'm going to be talking to you about the 3 techniques that you can use to start winning friends and winning people over to your side. Now this is based on Dale Carnegie's work. This book is extraordinary. It's a piece that went down in history, and it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I'm going to extract 3 of the techniques that you can use today to start winning friends. Now this book is over almost 300 pages long with a lot of stories and a lot of techniques. I want to give you again the 3 most powerful ones today. So first of all, why should you win friends, right? Why should you start winning friends over? So number 1, connection and love, okay? The first thing is that you need to start making connection, right? What's the purpose of this life except connection, connecting with others, becoming friends with people, understanding each other, sharing your stories with one another, bonding, right? And loving each other. So connection and love is the first reason why you need to win friends. Someone might say, well, I don't need to win friends. Yes, you do, because we all need connection. Without connection, we would be lonely. Now, this can work for a career, for your social life, for your business life, whatever it is. Learning the techniques to win friends is really something that, I mean, it will withstand the test of time when you know how to do this, because it will basically, you could use it for every single aspect of your life. The second thing, why you want to win friends, is powerful networks. Number 1, you get to open doors for yourself that you normally would never, ever have access to. We all live in a bubble, we all live in our lives, and we only have a limited supply of what's around us, right? I mean, in terms of what's immediately around us, we only have what's there. Now, in order for us to break through and get these doors open to us, who else is going to open them except someone else who knows someone else? So when you start learning how to win friends over and becoming friendly with people and building a powerful network, you start to get access to these inside networks that you normally would never have access to, because when you meet John knows, Sue and Sally, and if John likes you, Sue and Sally, it's inevitable that they have to like you too, right? Because it's a friend of a friend. So again, this crosses everything, whether it's business, customer relations, social, a career, whatever it is. The third reason is just for success. You simply grow and achieve your goals, right? If you think about it, it's really hard to imagine a goal that is just simply just you alone, right? I mean, maybe something like losing weight or something like that. But even then, no matter what goal you have, you're always going to need people, right? I mean, there would be no world without people. There would be no businesses without people buying products. There wouldn't be friendship and love without people and people connecting. So people are important to you achieving your goals, because you will need people to achieve your goals. You'll need the support of your spouse, you'll need the support of your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever it is. You need the support of your friends. If you want, again, to access something, you need someone to guide you there. You're watching this video and I want to help you, right? So we always need each other to achieve success. So let's talk about, before I go into the 3 techniques, I want to talk to you about 3 things that people are doing right now that are actually hurting their chances of winning new friends. Like if you're doing these things, and a lot of us are victim of these things. I'm not saying, that everyone goes through these issues. So, but if you're doing one of these things, you're hurting your chances of winning friends. So let's go through 3 of them. The first one, what's the first thing that is hurting your chance of winning friends? Keeping people away from you. These are the things, by the way, that, again, are keeping people from connecting with you. Number 1, simply don't care about other people. It's all about me, me. This is a big one. A lot of people just say this sometimes without realizing how impactful and how this can change their life in a negative way. When they say things like, I don't care about people, I just care about myself. I just care about myself. Well, if you care about yourself, well, guess what? You're only going to be caring about yourself forever. You're the only one who's going to care about yourself. No one else is going to care about you. So when we use this philosophy in life and we say things like that, like, I don't care about other people and it's all about me, I get it. We all care about ourselves, but if that becomes your philosophy, then guess what? No one is going to care about you and what you care about. I had a student one time say something like that. I don't care about other people's lives. And, I told him, to be honest, it's going to be hard to achieve success if you don't care about other people, because there's really, every single thing that you're going to get involved with is going to have to do with other people, and no one's going to connect with you if you don't care about other people. So let's go on to the second thing. And this is another big one. Forcefully convincing others of your own ideas and opinions. Forcefully convincing others. As a matter of fact, Dale Carnegie in his book talks about not even trying to convince people of your opinions, period. And he goes on to talk about some of the great leaders who never even, who used different strategies to quote unquote convince people in a way that didn't seem convincing, right? There were just different techniques, and that's in the book. But what do a lot of us do oftentimes? Right? Put yourself in the shoes. You're talking to someone, and you're listening to them, but you know that you just have this opinion. You just want to say it. Well, I think this. Well, what about this? What if we try this? And what if we do this? And how about this? No, I don't agree with that. I mean, these are the things that we do. We try to convince people of our own ideas, and put yourself in the shoes of, say you're trying to communicate an idea to someone, communicate your feelings, and then that person is trying to, as opposed to listen to you, they're just waiting till you finish. They can convince you of some idea, of their own opinion. What do you think? You're gonna be like, I don't care. I don't care what your opinion is. I don't care what you want. You just want to be heard, right? So we do this oftentimes, not even realizing it, that we try to convince people, and when we're interacting with people, we're trying to just push our opinions and our ideas, and we think that that's what's going to make us look good. But what makes us look good is actually listening. So let's now get into the fourth thing. I don't know if this is the fourth or third. I can't remember, but I think this is the third. That you don't really listen, and this is the big one. You don't really listen to people. Right, and it's connected with the last one, is that a lot of times when someone's speaking, we're not really there. Like, we're not really quiet. You might think you're being quiet, but you're not. Your mind is waiting for them to finish and thinking all these thoughts, as opposed to you just shutting off your mind and just listening to someone. So we don't listen to people. So this is something that sabotages our ability to create friends, because people, they won't connect with you if they can't be heard. No matter what it is, a customer, a friend, wherever you are, people can't connect with you unless they know that they're being heard or listened to. So when people can tell if you're not listening, even if you do stay quiet and listen, there's a difference between someone who stays quiet and actually absorbs and really listens with good intentions, as opposed to someone who just stays quiet and just waits to put their opinion on someone. The other person is going to be able to tell when the conversation is over whether you listened or not, and if you did, they're going to make a connection with you. And if they felt like you really didn't, even if you stay quiet, there'll be no connection. So let's talk about the 3 techniques now. I want to get into some of the 3 techniques that are from Dale Carnegie, and these aren't from me. These are based on the work of Dale Carnegie, one of his most powerful books called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And these are 3 techniques I wanted to share with you today about how to win friends, and this is going to support your growth and your success. These are really powerful techniques. I just want to share with you that Dale Carnegie makes it very clear, before I get into these techniques, that number 1, these might appear simple, but they're very, very important. Even if they feel simple, they're very, very important to your success and to you winning friends and to influencing people around you. The second thing, Dale Carnegie makes it clear that you should never be using these things as sort of with bad intentions. You should never be using this just to kind of shut people up or just get people to like you. You should be using this with sincere intentions. And he makes it clear in his book that someone one time questioned him when he shared this insight, well, what do you want from the person? Why are you doing this? What do you want from the person, as to why you're trying to use these techniques? And he said, he couldn't believe it. He was saying that you have to be sincere. That's what it is. You just have to want to connect with people and be the light of people's day. And that is going to eventually return back to you anyway. But you have to start off with a good intention. So let's get to the first technique. This is the big one, and this is the one that starts off the whole book, which is do not criticize. Never criticize people. And this is the hard one, but this is a big one. He talks about a story about this criminal, this American criminal in the 1900s called Two Gun Crowley. Two Gun Crowley was a cop killer, and he eventually received the death penalty. As a matter of fact, he was chased down by 150 police officers, and when they chased him down, almost 10,000 people watched his arrest. Now, what Dale Carnegie brings to this, what he mentions is that the night that he was caught, they found a piece of paper in his jacket. This criminal wrote this piece of paper, a note. And the note said, it read, I'm reading it here, under my coat is a wary heart, but a kind one that would do nobody harm. This coming from a person who shot a police officer in cold blood just because they asked for his license. So Dale Carnegie mentions, and this is important here, if people like Two Gun Crowley, and as a matter of fact, Al Capone, also the criminal, had similar statements to this, that he felt that he was a good person and that the world was just being unjust to him. And these were hardened criminals. If people like Two Gun Crowley can say this about themselves, that they're kind and that the world is just out to get them, what do you think the normal people feel around you? How do you think the normal people feel about themselves that you're interacting with on a daily basis? Much better than what these people thought. And these people are even defending themselves and they don't want to be criticized, these criminals. So how much more so the kind people? How much more so the regular people? How much more so your boss, even though it might seem crazy or whatever? How much more so, that person, right? So Dale Carnegie makes it clear that people don't want to be criticized. Even criminals don't want to be criticized, right? So how much more so a regular old person? People want to accept it. And even if they do accept it, they're going to hate you for it. They're going to resent you when you criticize them. Even if you're right, you might say, what if I'm right? You probably are right, but people will resent you for criticism. So there's different ways for you to quote unquote criticize someone in a healthy way without it appearing, hurtful to them. There are different ways, and it's in this book, and I'll talk to you about that at the end, about where you can get your hands on some more of these techniques. So never criticize people. The other thing is, number 2, is be interested. Okay? Be interested in people. Genuinely interested. Be genuinely interested in people by asking about them and their interests. Get to know people, like truly. When was the last time you went to a networking event, or wherever you were, or your customer, or whatever, or a friend, and you actually just asked about them, genuinely, not, hey, how you doing? Oh, great. Is that what you do? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, cool. Hey, here's what I do. I do this, and I do that, and I do that. When was the last time you just stayed quiet and asked someone about themselves, what they do and what they're interested in, and just listen, and just stay quiet, just listen to them. Just we're genuinely interested in what they care about. That's how you win friends and influence people. That's how you become someone like an Obama, someone like, a leader who, even though you might feel they don't do these things, Dale Carnegie mentions the top leaders who all use these strategies, and this is how they win people over. Be genuinely interested in people. He tells a story of Edward Sykes, who was a sales representative, and Edward Sykes went to a store, and he was, he used to sell products, to this store. They used to buy supplies from him, and he was a vendor, for the store. When he went in to see the manager, he said he goes and he always greets the clerks in the front and the janitors, and he talks to them, and he asks about them, and he asks about their lives. One day he went in to see the store manager, and the store manager told him, I'm sorry, we are actually, he's not going to be a client anymore. He moved on to find another vendor, and he told him to, I'm sorry, and, bye and leave, So Edward Sykes, when he left, he couldn't help himself. He had to go back and try to, convince him or just get back to talking to him and figure out what went wrong exactly as to why he switched vendors. On his way back, the guy automatically, told him, I want you back and I want to be a loyal customer again. Edward Sykes was shocked. How did this happen within just a few hours that he left? Well, the store owner told him, he pointed over to the store clerks. You see those people over there? They told me that you ask about them all the time and that you're always interested in them and you're loyal to them. And he said, anyone who's like that wins my loyalty. I want to be your customer again. The fact that he used to build rapport with people who, quote unquote, maybe seemed like they didn't matter, like the store clerk in the front, you might say, what does that person matter? What's important is the store manager. No, the store clerk in the front, the janitor, he was interested in them. He talked to them and he made conversation. They influenced the store owner. And eventually he was able to influence the store owner just by virtue of him being interested in people. This is incredible insight. And there are other stories like this. Let's go to number 3. Number 3 is that you need to listen to people, okay? When in conversation, listen 100 more times than you speak. When you're in conversation with someone, listen 100 more times than you speak. Just listen. Just listen. Always when you find yourself like you might feel like you're trying to benefit the person. You might feel that by you doing that, you're going to give them some insight, so that's going to help them. No, what's going to help them is if they get to express what's on their mind and you just repeat it to them. And this is a big insight Dale Carnegie shares, that you need to just listen to people, let them express what's on their mind, and just hear them. You don't even have to say anything. All you have to do is say, tell me more, tell me more, tell me more. And repeat what they say back to them. The same things that they say, repeat it back. And you are going to be the most well-liked person in the party. Because people don't listen to people. When was the last time someone actually heard you out and repeated everything you said back to them? In a kind way, not like, I know what you said, this is what you said, in a nice way. Just kept asking you, hey, go on. Oh, tell me more about that. Oh, really? Wow. And ask you questions. That's how you create conversation. That's how you create social interaction. That's how you that's how you win people over and influence people. Because when it's your turn, that person's going to feel such an emotional connection to you that they're going to be willing to do anything for you and just listen to you, because no one listens to anyone. And when you're listened to, it really affects you. There's a story of Sid Levy. He had a customer who everyone called Nick. But this guy's name was actually Nicodemus Papadoulis. Nicodemus Papadoulis. So, as a matter of fact, I want to shoot over to the next slide because that's what the story is about. Let's move over. And this is a bonus I wanted to shoot. I just jumped the gun a little bit. I was so excited. But remember first name. So I'm going to tell you the story right here. That's a hard thing for people to do, is that they don't remember anyone's name. But that's what's going to get people. That's what's going to get people to make a connection with you also. So Sid Levy had a customer named Nicodemus Papadoulis. And one day he said, "Good afternoon, Mr. Nicodemus Papadoulis." And Nicodemus was in tears when he said that. Tears started rolling down his cheek. And he told him, in my 15 years in this country, no one called me. Not one person called me by my right name. And you were the first person. When you remember people's names, people will just love you for it. And that's the last of these techniques. If you want to be interesting, be interested in people. If you want to be interesting, be interested in people. If you want to be loved and create a connection and affect people, whether at work, at business, or in your social life, listen to people. So I want to introduce you to the summary of Dale Carnegie's work. How to Win Friends and Influence People is a book. It's almost 400 pages. It's by Dale Carnegie. What I've done for you is I've taken all of the great points and some of the fabulous stories, and I've condensed it in a short summary so you can get the most benefit from a book like this and other books, and I do this for other books, in a short period of time. because there are thousands of books that are so beneficial, but they're just so long, and a lot of us don't have time to read them. So what I've done is I read them for you and I extract some of the great points, and I try to make sure that if you didn't read the book at all, you could talk about this book and you know almost all of the great points in the book. So How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, my summary, it's on Amazon, and you could actually go ahead and purchase that if you like. I'll leave the link in the description below, and I hope you enjoy it. I think this book is one of the books that can really change your life if you take the ideas seriously. Not easily, just take them seriously, because these simple ideas can really affect, how many friends you're going to end up having and where your rank will be in life. All right, guys, so I'll see you in the next summary, see you in the next video. Thank you so much for being tuned in. I hope you found this valuable for you and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. Bye.